Welcome back to the nonsense, everybody.
And welcome back to the nothingness, everybody.
This is Nonsense and Nothingness. You're tuning in to Connor and Seth talking about life.
Liberty. And
the pursuit of whiskey. Why not? I like that. But this is Nonsense and Nothingness, a podcast about anything but, and we could just hop straight into things with Whiskey of the Week because I'm real excited about it.
Wait, but first we need to tell people to email us.
Oh, you're right.
Please email us.
Please, we're lonely.
We really would like to see some emails.
Seth is the only one that I can talk to, and he's a terrible conversation partner.
And I don't respond to this man.
Yeah, please email us at nonsense, then a capital N, and then the word nothingness at gmail.com. Like we always say, we will respond.
We will definitely respond. You'll be first on the list, I assure you.
Yeah, but these 2 weeks have been fun for us since it's been the first 2 weeks of our YouTube career.
Yes, and
we're
so
officially
thankful.
YouTubers. We're turning this into a full-time job soon.
Yeah, we are official.
We are official.
And we started a YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm. So, we're here.
Anyways, Whiskey of the Week, Connor. What'd you bring me today?
Whiskey of the Week. So, we've been doing, in Seth's words, some highfalutin whiskeys.
Highfalutin.
And we have. He's right. The only mildly affordable whiskey we have done is the Black Label, Evan Williams Black Label.
Yes.
Fairly recently. So, we decided to go to the bottom of the barrel.
Quite literally.
Quite literally. That is a heck of a whiskey. That's not it's kind of a pun. Maybe a little bit of a pun.
Bottom of the barrel.
Because it's
you were trying there. That was subliminal, at least.
Yeah. This is Clan MacGregor blended Scotch whiskey. The label is falling off. This is a new bottle. The label is falling off.
Yeah.
And from here, when you hold it up to the light, it looks like they whispered the color brown into a clear liquid, and that's how
it's in a green bottle,
which definitely distorts it.
It looks like an old Bud, like Bud Light.
An old Bud.
It looks like beer.
Yeah.
It does not look like whiskey.
It doesn't have a cork.
No cork.
And so I have high hopes. So I think this could only go well. So with these budget whiskeys, like I said, did I say this was $12? It's $11.99 where we are.
$11.99, and that's probably a little high because of Mississippi liquor laws.
Yeah. So there were two $11.99 whiskeys. One was this, and the other one was called Canadian Mist. And I said, I'll take my luck with the Irish. And so this is a blended, or the Scotch. Oh man, I just pissed a lot of Scotch and Irish people off. All the Scottish and Irish people that listen to this podcast are going to unsubscribe. Dang.
See you later.
You hate to see it. But yeah, blended Scotch whiskey, product of Scotland. It says it's sweet. It says complex, sweet, and mellow.
How much? What's the proof?
40% alcohol, which means 80 proof.
So that's a little low, but that's in line with some other stuff.
Maybe it'll be delicious. Who knows? I don't know if I said it doesn't have a cork, but that's a point against for me. I love a good cork.
Yeah.
But we're gonna open this bad boy up. Get the little
ASMR in. Very nice.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, it has a hay smell to it. Are you smelling that in this top?
Maybe hay. Honestly, it just smells like weak whiskey. But, my palate's not as complex as someone like yourself.
Oh, man. I don't know what to say.
Fill me up, Buttercup. Oh, yeah.
If you want more, you just let me know. It's weak looking.
It looks like if you poured whiskey and ice in a cup and then let the ice melt.
Yeah.
It just looks like super diluted whiskey, but I'm excited. I'm ready.
Yeah, let's get past this part so we can talk about something interesting. Here we go. Here we go. Clan MacGregor going down.
That is super sweet on the front end, and then it's like all the alcohol just smacks you the back of your throat.
What? It's like, it's honestly kind of like rubbing alcohol.
It smells weird, Connor. It does not smell good.
I'm not buying another bottle of this. I might give this bottle away to somebody. Email us, and I'll give this bottle away
If
to
you want this bottle.
No, I can't ship liquor.
Yeah, it's illegal.
That's illegal. Just got to cover our P's and Q's there, you know.
Disclaimer. Anyways, okay, so what's your pre-podcast rating of this whiskey or scotch?
The smell is off-putting. The smell is genuinely off-putting, which is the first time that's happened on this show.
It's weird. It does not smell normal.
Yeah, the Evan Williams wasn't off-putting. It was fine.
It was just bland.
It was just, yeah. This is genuinely kind of off-putting. We're sitting at a 2 right now.
Yeah, I mean...
And I'm not giving it a 1 because I'm sure there's something out there worse.
You know, I'm kind of along the same lines. I think there is something worse out there, but I might just have to give it a plain old 1 right now.
Ooh, I like it.
Maybe I'm just going to give it room for improvement. Maybe it'll grow on me.
Well, there's only one way to find out, and that's by drinking more of it. So bottoms up, young stud.
Oh, gosh. I want to.
So that's a whiskey of the week. If you want to pour up a glass with us, choose a different whiskey.
Yeah, don't do this.
Don't get this one.
Get the Texas whiskey. That whiskey was really good.
Yeah. Follow us on Instagram for Whiskey of the Week, pictures of the Whiskey of the Week that we will send out before the show. So if you looked at that and then got this whiskey and now you're enjoying it with us, well, I shouldn't say enjoying. I'm sorry.
If you're suffering through it like we are.
Yeah. But we're out here making it, and it's fine. Anyway, let's hop into things. How's your life going, Seth?
Well, my life's going pretty good. This is the end of this semester. Okay.
Yeah.
So we have finals, projects.
A lot of people do.
Yeah, unless you go to a school of the arts or something, and your final is dancing.
You talking trash?
In a circle. No, I love the arts. The arts are my favorite. But no, Connor. Have you had the point yet where your classes are shifting more towards projects than tests?
I mean, I had one class this year that was basically just a semester-long project, and I think I finished it today. I say I think because there's always something else that comes up with these kinds of things, like an hour before the due date, before the deadline, you know, and then you have to scramble. But I think we pretty much finished it today. But besides that, a lot of them are still test-based.
Really?
You know?
A lot of my classes now are almost... I'm not going to say almost all test-based, or project-based, but I'll have probably two tests a semester, and then a project and a paper.
Yeah,
almost every class, and you are wincing from.
I mean, it's honestly crazy how this is called a whiskey. With some of the stuff that we're drinking, it's like you're gonna say that this is whiskey and that Texas whiskey is whiskey or Four Roses is whiskey. It's a different ball game.
Yeah, it's a different level.
This tastes like they took horse piss and distilled it down and added some grain alcohol. They just threw it in. That's what it tastes like.
So not a lot of developed flavors.
There's none. I'm literally getting like a hay barley note.
Yeah, like you just jumped in a hay bale kind of thing.
And then it's not good from there. And then it's just alcohol. Nasty alcohol.
Should have gone with the Canadian.
I should have. I guess that could be,
And maybe this will make you appreciate Evan Williams Black Label more.
It does. Evan Williams, I'm sorry. But that's why Evan Williams got a 4.5, I think.
Okay.
Evan Williams got double this thing's score.
You're right. We'll
over double, because I'm giving this thing a 2 flat. Anyway, yeah, it's bad.
It doesn't look good. It doesn't smell good. It doesn't taste good. Why'd you buy this?
Because we said we were going to do a bottom shelf whiskey. I called Seth before I went to the store. I said, Seth, what are you feeling? He said, we've been doing some highfalutin whiskeys. Let's get a bottom of the shelf. And I said, I'm on it, brother. And
I mean, you did not disappoint.
And I didn't disappoint. I found potentially the worst thing there.
I'm gonna guarantee you that it was, because just the quality of the bottle.
Just
I mean,
the labels coming off.
The fact that it looks like somebody took a glue stick and put this label on. The fact that it looks like a 40 bottle, like a malt liquor bottle that somebody put whiskey in and then glued 2 labels on. Also, where's your distilled thing?
It has no information on it.
It really? It just has nothing?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, wait, it says it combines the qualities of exceptional taste and fine flavor, which are derived from the expert blending of specialty selected Scotch whiskies of the finest quality. It is an achievement of perfection, distilled by skilled craftsmen and aged for 36 months to create a character of smoothness and a taste that is unmatched.
False.
False. This is horse piss and Everclear.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm not a whiskey connoisseur. In a couple weeks, I might be. The way this podcast is going. But at the very least, it's a fun time. We're having a good time, and that's what it's about. This could only be used as a mixer.
I think this would be hilarious to bring to a party and pour out shots of just
be like,
awful
come on
whiskey. Let's go, guys.
Let's
ski.
Let's do it.
Let's see who wants to take this shot.
Yeah.
You want to do shots and then just pull this thing out of your cooler and be like, well, no, it's some Clan McGregor.
It's good stuff.
It's distilled perfection. Didn't you know that? Yeah, no, that would be hilarious.
Yeah, that's false advertising.
This is a novelty whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
If this is not a real whiskey, especially not at the caliber we've been drinking, which is why I wanted to
we got to explore.
You have to get every kind of spectrum. You have to go through the whole spectrum, because I feel like you could pay nothing for whiskey and get shitty whiskey, or you could pay a decent amount for whiskey and get a really good whiskey. And
I'm sure out there is a cheap whiskey that's pretty good, though.
I think we had it on this show.
You think it was the Black Label?
Well, we can try and find something better and cheaper.
I want.
What do you want from a whiskey company?
I want 4 Roses or TX quality at a $12 to $15 price point.
At a fourth of the price.
Yeah, I wonder who's doing that. I feel like there's someone out there doing that somewhere.
No, okay.
They won't be doing it for long because they'll figure out they can charge more.
Yeah, see, that's the problem. When people make good whiskey, they just charge more.
Yeah. What's up with that?
Capitalism.
Capitalism? Yeah. Gosh.
Yeah.
Despicable. Hate it. So much.
Yeah. It's the worst.
Yeah. But anyway, something I've been thinking about this week. I was curious what your greatest fear is, Seth.
What my greatest fear is?
Mm-hmm.
Mediocrity.
Well, let's get into this. No, I get that. There's one of my biggest fears is unrealized potential.
Yeah, I mean that's along the same lines.
I'm not even talking about I have so much potential and what if no one ever sees it. I mean in general, I believe that I am going to continue to bust my ass and it's going to pay in spades for me at some point down the line. So yes, I fear unrealized potential that I don't fully access my all, but also that at some point in my career, I hope, and whatever my career is going to be, who knows, I'm going to be at the top of my game and I will not realize the potential of others that are coming up, and pick the wrong people. I'm scared of that too.
I'm scared of not doing the most with what I have. I think that's pretty common, but underutilizing what you have, especially when you see other people succeed, it's really easy to look at yourself and say I need to really consider what I'm doing and look at where I'm spending my time and blah 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 blah.
For sure.
For example, one of my good friends just recently won a big national scholarship.
Nice.
The Truman.
Wow.
Yeah. And
that's a big deal.
It is a big deal. And I've been friends with her for 3 years now because we were both freshmen together and we're both in the same major. And I got to kind of see the steps. And basically, she just never took a day off. I mean, every single day she was grinding. She was doing schoolwork. She has like perfect GPA. She would go volunteer twice a week at an elementary school. I mean, she had everything just down pat and was dedicated to, okay, I'm going to make the most out of every speck of time that I have. There's something really admirable about that. And I wonder what that is. I wonder what it takes to drive people like that, or if some people are just born with it, or if it's something you develop, or if it's built around the environment. I mean, from what I know about molecular biology and genes and heredity, I think it's a combination of your environment and your genes, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's pretty clear, but is there one factor that you think contributes to giving people the drive to do the most with what they have?
Yeah, I think it's super difficult to attribute it to one factor, because it's an amalgamation of a lot of things that forces people to, one, become who they are. I think one of the most important qualities, if not the most, is just discipline.
Yeah.
Deciding what you're going to do and being disciplined enough to do it, because anything worth having is not easy, you know.
Right.
And given that that's the case, you have to be disciplined on those days that you wake up and you say, nope, not today. You can't have those days, you know. And we all have those days. But if you're fighting for a goal, if you're fighting in a competitive realm, in order to be at the top, sick days don't exist, you know. You got to be disciplined, and that's kind of a grim outlook in this hyper competitive realm that we're in the sense of you never get a break.
But it's weird, because it's not like you're saying to yourself, I'm never getting a break. It's like, I'm getting to do what I want to do. Like, for example, I have this problem where I watch too many YouTube videos, right? Where I'm just like, if I want to chill and just do my own thing, I'll just get on YouTube and just watch some random stuff.
Yeah.
But if
we all do that.
If my relaxing state, if me just checking out was, okay, let me pull open the laptop and let me see what I can do next summer, or let me apply for this random thing, or like if my resting state was doing whatever
is other people's working state.
I mean that's I feel like that's it. That's how.
And your working state is hyperdrive. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's hard because there's obviously work-life balance is a thing and it matters, right? You can only go for so long at such a rate, you know. You can only go so hard for so long. But I think the important thing to keep in mind is that everything is finite, everything. And hard work, through your hard work, you're giving yourself the gift of opportunity. And the gift of opportunity is a gift that never runs out. You can always capitalize on opportunity if you choose to. And I think that's where it all comes back to discipline. Are you going to take the opportunity, or are you going to let it fall by the wayside and let someone else take the opportunity? Because there will always be somebody else. There will. And so, I relate to that fear of unrealized potential and mediocrity for sure. I think that's part of what drives both of us to both be successful students and push ourselves outside of our comfort zones, et cetera, et cetera. Are we perfect at it? I can definitely speak for myself and say no. I took a nap today.
You know, yeah, I get what you're saying. I do, but I think another thing that maybe you and I have in common is that I consider myself like I don't want to put my time into something where I know that I'm heading in like a wrong direction, or I'm heading in something that's not going to be productive. Like I want to make sure I have all my ducks in a row before I go do something. And I think that kind of stifles like my potential as far as, because like I look at people who are really successful and I hear their stories.
They just went and did it.
Like I don't think Bill Gates had all his ducks in a row when he founded Microsoft. I think he just kind of went out there and did it. You know?
I would agree.
But it's tough to sit there and pick like what you're going to go really hard on. Like and another thing is that what you're passionate about, you live in the real world and you have to figure out how to make that work in a society.
True.
You know, like if your passion is making tin can sculptures of upside down monkeys in urban areas, that's great, you know, but you
just get that off the top of your head?
Yeah.
I love that.
Are you gonna support a family with that? You know, there are questions here, and there are risks, of course.
Yeah.
And it's tough to manage all that.
For sure. I would agree. The ducks in a row thing is super valid. You wanna know that whatever you're gonna pour your time into is gonna be successful.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
However, we're recording this podcast right now.
Correct.
We've got a bum mic.
We have a beautiful mic.
You know what? We're gonna look back in like a year and be like, "You remember that newer? That was a good little guy."
Yeah. Yeah, it really is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's only got one side, even though the microphone should have two. Because it's built like it has two sides.
Anyway, you know, I feel like with the podcast, it's definitely something that we just kind of hopped into because we had no idea what we're doing. We still don't know what we're doing. Are you kidding me? This is what, episode 5, 6? I think
5.
I think it's 6. We'll look at our records.
Whatever.
We'll look at the records.
Anyways,
I think it's 6, but it's either 5 or 6. And we still have no idea what we're doing. We don't have our ducks in a row, but we're investing time in it because I think it's valuable for both of us. And we hope it's valuable for others and the future community that we form, potentially. Mm-hmm. I think that there's future value there, but we don't have our ducks in a row. And we're banking on that more than knowing that it's going to happen, you know? So, and I think that that's healthy. I really do. I think that it's healthy to have some things in life that you just go and you just do. And that's just how it is. But for sure, I relate to everything that you're saying. I really do.
One thing that I've also been thinking about a lot. Okay. I used to think that the great people of science, okay?
Who might those be?
Nobel Prize winners.
Okay.
Just think all of them.
That caliber. All the Nobel Prize winners.
Yeah.
Okay.
I used to think that these people were just so brilliant.
Most of it's accidents.
That they just came up with something and they were like, yeah, you know, this problem, everyone else is doing it wrong. And I have the one way to do it right. Yeah. And I'm the best. Mm-hmm. And I thought that's what it took. It just took you being just a genius and having that one idea. And that's definitely not how it works. No. These things are worked out over long periods of time. And if it were that easy to where just at a snap you could figure something out, somebody would have figured it out already. Yeah. And that to me kind of put in perspective like what real productive work is. You know? And how you can work your whole life for something and put energy towards it. It just put a lot of things in perspective for me. Yeah.
I would also say a lot of those, I shouldn't say a lot. There are several of those Nobel Prizes that were won by accident. In the sense of you're doing these experiments for years and whatever, and then you leave your cheeseburger on the counter overnight and you come back and it changed everything.
All the bacteria died and now you've saved like half of America.
Exactly. And so it's one of those things of being in the right place at the right time, but also staying disciplined.
But also looking at the same time.
Yeah. Being aware. Yeah. Taking the time to
Take
be
your
aware.
Opportunities when they come. Stay on your grind.
Yeah. And that's so much easier said than done. That's why I think it's extremely important to surround yourself with like-minded people who want to better themselves every day. I think I've said this several times already on the podcast of weak people are dangerous because they in turn will make you weak. And I'm not saying you shouldn't go help others, etc. Like if there's obviously, I mean, weak is in weak moraled, weak disciplined. You know, they're not. They don't have a goal in mind. They're not trying to better themselves every day. I don't mean weak in the sense of your fellow man who is in need. You know, that's not what I mean. So, which I guess they're in need of discipline. So I guess you could look at it that way, but. I say all that to say, be careful of the company that you keep, and that's a constant thing that I have to remind myself of. Throw some rocks in there; it'll help you.
I'm gonna dive in.
It'll help you.
But no, I totally agree, Connor. The people you surround yourself with, very, 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 very important. It sets the standard for what's normal. It sets the standard for what you do with your free time. It's just a lot of things are determined by who you surround yourself with, and I didn't really appreciate that in high school. I think because, Connor and I both went to the same high school. It was very small. Everybody knew everybody. So,
high school.
College, you can really pick who you hang out with.
For sure. You can pick and you can almost never see the people you don't want to see.
Yeah. Connor, how many people go to this university? 22?
How many people do I know?
No, go to the university. Like how many people?
How many people go? Yeah. A little over 22,000.
Yeah, 22,000 people versus, I think at our high school we had 700.
We had 700, like 50, somewhere around there.
Yeah. And
then a little, like 120 in our grade, something like that. So yeah, it was a big universe change.
That is bad.
It is bad. You really poured up here, brother.
Well, there's a lot of ice in there. I might get some Coke.
I expect you to drink this whole thing.
Oh, gosh.
Come on, that's at least 50 cents of whiskey in there. Probably not. I don't know. But all that being said, it's all about the company that you keep.
Yeah.
It's not all about that, but that's huge. I think you spend more time with your friends at school than you do with your parents once you're like 6 years old,
Mm-hmm. It's amazing to see how people change from the people they hang out with. I know people now who have started hanging out with a different crowd or, maybe not the best crowd, and they come back and they're just completely different people. They talk different.
Yeah.
They act different. They're into different things. Mm-hmm. It's really astounding how much people's foundation can be shifted just by who they surround themselves with.
I mean, everybody has those past friends. You were super close for a couple years. Y'all were best friends. Something happened where your paths just went a different way. You started hanging out with different crowds.
Mm-hmm.
You start to reconnect with this person. You're like, oh, you're different than what you used to be. And maybe you are too. You probably are, especially through junior high and high school. Everybody changes a ton.
Yeah. People are totally different.
Yeah, totally different. But it goes to show you part of that is your environment and the company that you keep. And so the friends that you choose are super important because they do mold who you will become ultimately, I think. Because your parents give you a toolbox,
Mm-hmm.
They give you a toolbox and they say, here is your social toolbox.
Yeah.
You have your social friendship tool here, your flirting tool here,
Yeah, your parents give you the flirting tool.
Your parents give you the flirting tool.
Little Phillips head.
Yeah, thanks, Dad.
Little power drill.
Little power drill. But they give you the toolbox, and then it's up to you to figure out how you use that in the social realm.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And then if you have good parents, fortunately I have great parents, if they see you misusing your tools, they give you a training guide on how to get back into line, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is a very extended and strange analogy, but I think it makes sense. and that's kind of, and you learn from your friends different ways to use those different tools, and that I think that's what sums up
early childhood development.
Yeah,
to
pretty
where
much.
we are now.
Psychologists are pissed at me.
Yeah, we'll call it the Watson theory.
The Watson theory. It's good stuff.
Social development.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I think that's all true, and
I'm a truth speaker. What can I say?
I think people do. People always hear like, "Be careful who you hang out with." A lot of people understand that, and a lot of people think, "Oh, well, I'll never end up of the wrong side of the law or the wrong side of anything, or I won't get involved in anything stupid." And then you watch shows like Live PD and you realize normal people are total lawbreakers.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, it is so easy to get caught up in the wrong crowd and do something stupid, or
yeah.
It's so easy, Connor.
Super easy.
It's very easy. I don't know. Drinking and driving is one of those problems that keeps coming back up in America.
Mm-hmm. Super selfish move. Not a fan.
Definitely. At worst, you're doing it for convenience. Just hey, I don't want to call an Uber. I don't want to get a friend to drive me. I'm going to drive myself home. I've only had 3 or 4 shots. I can totally do this. I've had
I got this.
A million people who would absolutely drive home.
Yeah.
And it's really sad. And it's not a good move, and the law is not very kind to DUIs.
As it shouldn't be.
As it should not be. But in this country, if you drink and drive and you get caught, like you're definitely going to jail.
Yep.
That's depending upon the circumstances. Like, you're definitely not going to drive again for
a good little while.
Like 5 years. Yeah. So why do you think things like that are such a big problem in America, Connor? Do you think our liquor laws need to be harsher? Do you think we need to blow into our cars before we drive? What's the solution?
I want to be very clear here. I don't know. Like, I'm not an expert.
Uh-huh.
But I have a couple thoughts on it. And one, I think America has a couple problems culturally. I'll also say this. America is the best place to live in the world.
I agree.
And we live in the best time in human history ever. As far as technology goes, and availability, quality of life,
child mortality rate,
everything, almost everything across the board is better.
Mm-hmm.
There's less war, there's less hunger, there's less poverty, etc. But we also live in a world where bad things are the interesting thing and the thing that people pay attention to. I think that is a cultural problem.
Okay.
People don't care about the good thing that happened. It's like, oh, cool, that was nice. Oh, a bomb went off in a Walmart? How many people died? Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's definitely what gets attention of people nowadays. What sells newspapers, what gets people to watch the news.
Yeah. And
it's what makes me watch Live PD.
Yeah, I mean, like, I get it. Trust, I am not I'm not a part of this,
Mm-hmm.
I definitely slow down when I'm going past a car wreck on the highway, like, I'm sure I buy into that. But I think that, one, bad things are what America thinks is cool. 2, as far as the drinking and driving thing, I feel like I have no data for this. I don't know how this rolls as far as America compared to other countries.
Right.
But I do know, based on things that I've read and watched, that America, while we are the wealthiest country in the world, we are pretty far down on the happiness list.
Mm-hmm.
Like Sweden and Norway, the Scandinavian countries, Iceland, very happy countries.
Right.
America is like maybe in the top 30, or is it top 50?
Well, what do you credit that to, Connor? Why are people unhappy?
I think it's a combination of things. I try and look inner into why I would be unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's because people in America, I think you have two groups. You have the people who feel like they were promised something and it was taken away from them. And you have the people who, or I should say three, the people who never had anything, they think it's a broke system and that they're always going to be screwed. And then the people who have always had everything forever, always. And they will be at the top of the list no matter what. Obviously, I'm grossly simplifying. But I feel like those are some of your big groups. And I think that there's a lot of sadness surrounding that. I think that America pushes, you see it in politics, you see it in our college system, in our educational system, across the board. It's all about getting a job so that you can make money, so that you can buy stuff you want.
Right, and you can get above that line by any means necessary.
Yeah, and it's like, well, in order to be happy, you need to get a job. And that job's going to let you get a car.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some people who get a job and they can't get a nice new car. All they can get's the beater, you know? And that's how that works. And so they feel like they've been gypped.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a group of people who believes in equality of outcome. I don't believe in that at all. You know, I believe in equality of opportunity, but not equality of outcome. And so there are people out there who want to drive the Ferrari or whatever, but they're not willing to do the work to get there. I think those people are unhappy.
You know, I think you're right, Connor. I think people have this perception of America where, okay, if you do everything right, then you should be driving a Ferrari. And, America's the richest country in the world. Everyone should be driving Ferraris.
Yeah.
And those two things just aren't synonymous.
Yeah.
And what you're saying about equality of outcome, equality of opportunity, equality of outcome would be, okay, we're a rich country, so the government buys everybody a Ferrari. Equality of opportunity is, okay, you all have the same opportunity to start a business, to work hard, so that you can one day afford a Ferrari.
Yeah.
And those are two completely different things. And I think when people hear America's the wealthiest country in the world, they have a skewed perception of what that means.
I mean, there are a lot of people who do not understand the fact that if you eat meat more than once a week, you are in like the top 3% of the world.
Yeah.
You know, there are so many people who, because we live in America, there is a skewed idea of what wealth is.
Absolutely.
Because you see the millionaires and even the upper middle class, you know, it's just like, dang, they're doing all right.
Yeah.
And that's great.
People are talking about the 1% in the U.S. Can you imagine what does that mean worldwide?
Yeah. I mean, the people in Libya are looking at your little apartment in New York and the fact that you were able to have a hamburger today, and it's like, holy shit, you're living the life, you know? And so it's this, and I hope I don't sound high and mighty, because I for sure do this as well. We're theorizing about why America is the way that it is, more or less.
Yeah. I mean, we're not over here trying to discredit people who are poor. I mean,
absolutely not. There's poverty in America.
There's definitely crime. There's definitely bad things that happen to good people in this country, and not everything's perfect.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And there are definitely groups of people who in America that are underprivileged and that need help. And I am 100% all for giving them as much help as America can possibly give and as their communities can possibly give. But I think one huge problem with American culture is that we are always told that as long as you work hard, you can get whatever you want, which I think is true to a point. But there are people who say, well, I'm working my 9-to-5 job and that's hard for me to do, but I can't afford everything that I want.
Right. Working hard in America, that I feel like that's the wrong term. It's you have the opportunity to build the wealth, to to buy whatever you want.
Yeah.
And whether you want to start your own company and start building your wealth in like a true capitalistic fashion or do other things, but if you're just trading your labor at a McDonald's for an hourly wage,
Yeah,
that's not living the American dream. That's,
for sure.
That's selling hours of your life for minimum wage.
Yeah. Just a note on that. Yeah, passive income's the move. If you want to build wealth, passive income is how you do it.
Yeah,
and that's why the 1% keeps getting more wealthy, because they have the money to work for them in a passive manner.
And I'm not here to tell you that if you work at McDonald's, like, you aren't doing it right, but you can do other things with that money besides like expect to get everything you need to live from your wage. Like Connor said, you could invest in real estate, or I don't know, start a business or invest in the stock market. You can do things to build wealth in this country, besides owning a mega $1 million corporation.
Yeah, I mean, it all goes back to discipline. How disciplined are you going to be with that wage that you receive over time? Not everybody can start at this incredible platform. I totally recognize that not everybody has the same starting position,
Absolutely.
Donald Trump got a small loan of $1 million from his dad to start things off.
Yeah.
He's been quoted saying, "Yeah, I'm a self-made man," and he's built a lot.
Mm-hmm.
He's felt a lot, as we all have, but he's built a lot. But also, we don't all.
Kylie Jenner.
Yeah, self-made woman.
Self-made billionaire.
I'm not discrediting what she's done. She's done some incredible work.
I mean, she made a cosmetic line that increased her wealth from, like, I know she was not worth $1 billion before that.
And now she is killing the game.
Now she's killing it.
And that's awesome. We don't all have the same starting point, but we do all have the freedom to be as disciplined as we want to be. But and make choices based on that. But I think just to go full circle about why there seem to be so many unhappy Americans is we're told from a young age, well, you got to do well in school and you work hard and you get a job and the American dream is there for you.
Mm-hmm.
Get a job. I hate. There's nothing about creating. There's nothing about going and doing. All of it is dependent on somebody else to give you something, a job. I believe with my heart and soul that if you want to make it in this world, whatever that means to you, I don't even mean financially, you have to go, you have to build it, you have to make it, you have to take it. That 9-to-5 job is not going to fulfill you. If you're in a soul-crushing job and it allows you to buy the nice new car, that's going to be cool for a week.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's something deeper to that fulfillment than just materialistic things, and I think that's something that America does not understand.
I don't think we do. I mean, you can look at our consumption rate and our trash output, and you can tell, America doesn't get it. We get a lot of things. Like I said, America is the best place to live in the world, for sure.
Connor, I'm going to float an idea by you, and I want to hear what you think. There's a Democratic presidential nominee, who's bringing back up universal basic income.
Ooh, yay!
$1,000 a month for everybody. This would be a replacement for all food stamps, like everything. Just get rid of every welfare thing that we have and put it all into a fund, and then give everybody $1,000 every month who's, let's say, 18.
Yeah.
The idea here is that this base income, which would be just below the poverty line, like $12,000 for a single person is like just below the poverty. I think it's like $12,500.
How do you live off of that? That's crazy.
Right. Well, I mean, how much do you?
I mean, yeah, right now,
I don't spend $12,000 a year.
Correct, but I'm a student.
It is different. It's different. But anyways, this base income would, let's say, take care of your, maybe depending on where you live, rent, food, and I don't know, gas. And from there, you would be able to go do whatever else you wanted to do. Like, what do you think about that idea? I know it seems like people are just giving you money to hand out, but I like the idea of, okay, well, you would, if you wanted to live off this, you'd live a very menial life, and
Correct.
maybe America owes you that much, but if you want to do anything with yourself and apply yourself and not just live off of your universal basic income, you have to get out there and do something.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I don't know how to feel about proposals like that.
Sure.
And the guy, by the way, is Andrew Yang.
Okay, yeah, I know of him. I think it's very noble.
Yeah.
I think it's very noble. But I also, anytime anyone says America owes you this, I'm very skeptical.
Mm-hmm.
America doesn't owe anybody anything, except for our veterans.
Okay, true,
right?
Fair enough.
I don't.
There's definitely a strong argument for the veterans.
Yeah, I don't think that as Joe Blow down the street, America owes you anything for being born in this country. Congratulations, you already hit the lottery of being born in this country.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Mm-hmm. I think we would see a large amount of people immigrate to the U.S. if that were the case.
Immigration rates are going to go up. I won't even dive at all that. That could go. I'll just talk about what my problem is with universal basic income. One, that's going to be real expensive.
Yeah, it'll be about $3 trillion
a year. Yeah,
I mean, there are 300 million people. Let's say half of them are 18 or older. So then, $1.5 trillion a year.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not gonna lie. I would love to get $12,000 a year. That would be cool.
Yeah,
but I don't know who that's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming. I think there's something super weird about the government just writing checks to people. I think that's super weird.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know who that's coming from. You can't be grateful for that. It just becomes this sense of entitlement, and America's got enough of that already. You know?
Okay.
I think it could do some good. But also, I think that a lot of it would be wasted. I think because there's no tracking that money. You can't say here's universal basic income of 1,000, but you can only buy necessities with it.
Yeah, no.
People are going to go buy. There will be many people who go and buy alcohol, who go and buy cigarettes, tobacco, whatever, who go gamble it away, who go do X, Y, and Z. Like,
yeah, I mean, there's nothing to prevent you from spending that all on drugs if you wanted to.
Yeah, exactly. I think America has this idea, and I'm not an expert, but I feel like America is a country where we just say, throw money at it.
Mm-hmm.
Just throw some money at it,
mm-hmm.
and it'll be fine. I don't think giving everybody $1,000 a month is going to fix anything or make anybody happier. All it's going to do a couple years down the line is say, well, I want $1,500 a month.
Yeah,
you know,
that's a big problem.
Let's start. If you're going to start feeding this beast, the beast is going to get bigger. Look at Social Security. Look at Medicare. Look at Medicaid. Like, how many times do we have to make this mistake of these social nets, which are important in many respects, but they all ultimately fail or implode? I mean, I am 1,000,000% convinced that if you are our age, we will never see a Social Security check. If we do, it'll be like $50.
I mean, I don't agree with universal basic income either, but just to play devil's advocate, there is one place that I know of that has had a kind of universal basic income, and I think it's been fairly successful.
Mm-hmm.
Alaska. Go for it.
Yeah. So Alaska, you're talking about the whole idea of the government pays you if you move to Alaska because the population's low and it's cold as hell, so no one wants to live there.
Yeah. That is the thing. I mean,
so I'll say this: you're getting something for something.
For moving to Alaska.
You moved to Alaska.
Uh-huh.
That's not easy, you know?
Right.
So you did something to earn that to a degree. We're giving everybody in the metropolitan of LA $1,000 a month for.
I mean, to a rich person, you might not even pick that check up. Mean nothing. Like,
yeah. Also, we're giving that to people who have no need for the money whatsoever, right?
Correct.
I just think that's not an optimized solution. That's my industrial engineer coming out. Mm-hmm. It's not an optimized solution. I don't know what the optimized solution is, but I don't think giving everybody $1,000 a month is going to fix our problems. I think the reason that they do it in Alaska is to motivate people to move to a place that nobody wants to move to. Mm-hmm. I shouldn't say nobody. Alaska is awesome, and I would love to have a house there.
Well, let me ask you this, Connor. Do you think the social safety nets lead to a perception of like happiness, security, and...
No, I believe that they lead to more greed.
Okay, well, I mean, what about the Dutch countries? They have a huge social safety net system and super high taxes.
And you're looking at a totally different culture.
Yeah.
It's all culturally based. You're looking at a homogenized culture. America is fractured. It's one of our biggest strengths as well as one of our biggest weaknesses.
Yeah, it's also worth noting that the Norway government is completely held up by its government-run oil company.
Yeah.
That it makes bukudos of dollars.
Yeah, so that helps. And whenever oil falls out, they'll be screwed.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I think universal basic income is interesting, but
it's super interesting.
The fact is we already have a pretty big social safety.
It's super robust. It's fairly robust, and it's so big that it's imploding.
And it's all fragmented.
Yeah.
And if it was cost neutral to the country to take all the money that was taken from all the different social safety nets and just put it all into a fund and then divide it by the number of people, obviously that would not be an optimized solution because you'd be giving less money to the people that need it most and more money to the people that don't need it at all. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. There's something to be said about it. There's something to be said about the simplicity.
I mean, like I said earlier, I'm all about helping people. I want to help people. But I also hate the concept of getting something for nothing and having no idea where that help is coming from. Mm-hmm. It's coming from the government, but that doesn't mean anything. The American government is just so massive and amorphous. Nobody,
Okay, well then, so you would like to see, and I would like to see this too, by the way, like privatized charity funds that would maybe help out people in need. And so every time, like what if every time you got a welfare check, it said paid for by the family of blank and blank? Mm-hmm. Like they,
I think that puts a level of humanality to it. Mm-hmm. And I also think that it will light a fire underneath some people's asses who all they do is collect welfare checks. Like that exists out there, and to deny that there are people out there who don't just collect welfare checks and decide not to work is asinine. There are people who do that. And so to know that, oh, well, John Smith and family gave me this money, and they know that they gave me this money.
Yeah.
There's an element of that it's like, well, I'm taking money from a human being, another human being. At least I would hope that there is.
I think there used to be that perception. Do you remember do you ever watch the movie Cinderella Man with Russell Crowe?
No, I did not.
It's a movie about a boxer who's like down on his luck in the Great Depression and then comes back and wins it all. Mm-hmm. At the very end, when he wins it all, he goes back into the welfare office and puts down a huge stack of cash
and pays it back.
Who in their right mind would do that nowadays?
Nobody. And so, yeah, it all goes back to this cultural idea that we all feel like we're owed something. I won't say we all. Many, many Americans feel like they're just owed something for being human. Get over yourself.
I'll tell you, Connor, there's nothing that makes me just want to be a libertarian, like filing taxes.
Yeah.
Oh, man, it brings it out of me. It's like, why do they need my money?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what are you going to do with this? I know how to spend my money better than you.
Exactly.
There's nothing that brings it out of me no more than
Seriously, the libertarians have some cool ideas.
more than mid-April.
Yeah. But for real, I hate the mentality of I am owed something because.
Yeah, no, it's.
I think it's dangerous, and it all goes back to weak people.
And it probably leads to unhappiness. And
Yeah,
it
for
probably
sure.
leads to a general malaise, depression, a host of other problems.
Yeah, I think that $12,000 will be really cool for as long as people remember that they used to not get that. You see what I'm saying?
Also, I mean, another issue. I'm not an economist, but it seems like that would just be the definition of inflation.
Yeah.
Like, just give everybody $12,000 more, then okay.
Yeah, and the idea is that you prop up everything because everybody has $12,000 to spend now, and they can be unbelievably creative, and they can add to society and create and do, etc.
Right, but now
and that's a beautiful view. Don't get me wrong. I wish that I saw humanity like that, but I go to college and I see people, and I'm like, oh no. It wouldn't work out that way. Who would say, oh, I'm getting $12,000 a year. I'm not doing anything.
Nothing else for me.
And nothing else for me. I'm good. I'm good.
Out.
I'm going to smoke this weed and drink this drink. And that's me. That's what I'm going to do. And they're going to go and they're going to buy their Clan McGregor.
For 1/1000th of their yearly income.
Exactly. And they're going to go and just bum it away. I think that a significant portion of the people that you're giving universal basic income to would do that.
I mean, in an ideal world, these people who are getting UBI would go live out their dream as an upside-down tin-can monkey artist in an urban area.
Yeah.
And they could be happy.
They could be happy.
They could survive.
And they could find joy in that, and there would be other people using their UBI to support them potentially.
UBI sounds like an infection.
It really does.
Anyway,
did you get your UBI checked out? Yeah.
Hey, man. I got urinary.
I think it's a cool idea, but at the end of the day, I think that there are a lot of social safety nets that are grand plans gilded in gold. It's empty.
I would just buy the argument that it's just not the most efficient use of resources.
Yeah, it's not optimized at all.
And, rich people don't need another $1,000 a month.
Exactly.
Anyways, Connor, now that we've gone through 57 minutes, I want to hear what you think about Clan McGregor.
Clan McGregor?
Clan McGregor.
I will probably never drink it again.
What are you going to do with this bottle, then? I mean, the label's already half off, so...
Yeah.
Like, when I say it looks like it was glue sticked on there...
There are 1, 2... 3 little lines of adhesive, and then a little bit down here.
Yeah,
and that's it.
And there's no engraving. There's no. It actually, that bottle looks like it was fused in half.
Where are you getting that? Oh, right here.
Yeah, there's like a crease through the entire bottle.
Yeah, what I'll probably do is wait for a party,
and just
bring this to the party and say, community drinks. Here you go.
Yeah, no, it'd be a lot of fun, honestly.
There will be certain whiskeys that I want to repeat as whiskeys of the week just because they're so good. This is not one of them.
Have you ever played a drinking game where what you're drinking is too good, so you just drink it and you're like, man, oh, I lost again? That's why my favorite drinking games are the ones that involve really shitty drinks.
Because you don't want it.
Because you don't want it.
So
that's
yeah,
the idea.
this is a drinking game.
That would be perfect.
Yeah. I'll stick with my 2 because I'm sure there's something worse out there.
Yeah. I bet there is too.
And I guess you could give it a 0, but I would.
I mean, it's not like fake. Like it has alcohol.
Mean, like it. Yeah. It is.
They made an effort.
It's drinkable. As in, you can get it down and not feel like you need to gag or anything. That, to me, is 0 level.
I agree.
To me, this is pretty piss poor. And so we'll keep it at a 2.
Just holding it, like trying to hold on the label together.
It makes me sad. It's like I bought this yesterday, and it's falling apart.
Yeah, that's not something you can put up in your collection for a year and then pull out on special occasions.
No, see, and I pride this podcast has led me to have a nice-ish collection, and now I'm gonna spoil it with this thing.
It's gonna be all ruined because of your Clint McGregor.
Gosh,
well,
what am I gonna do?
I don't know.
Yeah, but
anyways, guys, I think that's about it for today.
Yeah, we talked a lot about universal basic income.
We ranted a lot that episode.
Yeah, I hope it was enjoyable, that maybe you learned something, found it to be interesting. Hopefully y'all are enjoying these episodes. And if you want to subscribe, hit us with a like.
Subscribe.
I'm super down.
Email us at the email.
At nonsense, then a capital N, nothingness, @gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram, Nonsense and Nothingness.
And don't forget, say it, Connor.
Be nothing.